Practicing bad habits, Mr. Wright's back in the building. Look, I love when we have different people riding shotgun. B, what up?
What up, man? It's good to step from away from behind the camera and over here, man.
Excuse me, I called you by the wrong name. Producer B. What's going on, baby?
B.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Yo, Producer B, we got this dude chilling on the couch today.
Yes, sir, we do. We got Mantis J over here, the mind, the creator behind the Mantis clothing brand, man. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good today.
Heck yeah, yo. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm good.
Bet.
You know what? Let's not be too rude before we get popping. We got a few people behind the scenes right now.
That is true.
We got a oldie but a goodie coming back to the show today. Hey, what up, baby?
What's going on? Yo.
Yo, come on, man. You already know. My fucking partner in crime, man. Let's do this, man. We got A in the building. We got T in the building, too. What up, T?
What's going on, guys?
You know, my homegirl back there chilling. Got about 5 different cameras in the room right now. You know, T's about her business. You know what I mean? You got my man Al in the building, too. Jay!
What's happening?
My dude over here just enjoying the blueberries. You know what I mean? And I see you brought us some
Gotta
gifts
have
in
the
here today.
blueberries. You know where I got these from?
Talk to me. Put me on.
Midtown Juice Lab, man. Shout out to them.
Yo, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them, man. But yo, shout out to you, man. Shout out to the Mantis brand. Shout out to everything you got going on right now, man.
Appreciate that, man. I'm actually wearing the shirt that I'm releasing in the fall winter collection.
I like that
The
color.
Mantis. It's like a nice little blue. 2 different shades of blue.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get too into the clothing brand, though, I'm kind of curious myself, right? There's always a story behind any clothing brand. I'm kind of curious a little bit of your origins and the reason to why you go ahead and do some things there. So you care to share a little bit about that and your journey, just about you and how you got to the point where you wanted to start a clothing brand?
Yeah, of course, man. It comes a little bit about when I was in middle school, and I was trying to be a little hustler.
Okay.
Trying to make some money and everything like that. You know, just wanted a little dip and dabble and just learn, have learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so long story short, I ended up getting in trouble for middle school. I was trying to sell some weed.
Yeah, fair.
You know, I got expelled, and then I was in alternative school.
What's alternative school?
Alternative school is a little place where they take kids where, how can I explain that shit, man?
Kind of like
Trouble.
Yeah, troubled kids that, you know, don't really do good around other children.
So not to get sidetracked. So a bag of weed got you jammed up that bad, or were you just a troubled youth that got yourself in a you know, this was
that
the
was the
last
straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
for
talk
lack of
to
better
us,
word.
Jay. Talk to us, man.
Man, I had like a little pellet.
Mm.
I had a little pellet on me too. It had BBs in it, but like, you know.
Yeah, that's
somebody told on me and shit.
right.
So selling weed and toting the
Yeah.
piece on him. So
My
this
man
guy
was
official.
he was about his business.
So let's get back to the business that got you to the Mantis aspect.
Mantis. So like, long story short, man, what that is, you know how you're a kid, you like sketching names and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I would just love graffiti. I always loved to do graffiti on stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. And I came across the name Mantis, and I always put the crown and everything.
Okay.
And I was like, King Mantis.
King
That's how I
Mantis.
came out with it. I was skateboarding.
I like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was skateboarding at the time, and I was doing a little martial arts at the time too. So I was dipping and dabbing in both.
Yeah.
And around that time, man, I was just trying to transition into something better because I'm like, look, I'm in a place right now. I got to figure out how I'm gonna get out of it at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Ever since then, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna start this brand. And I was trying to figure out how to get decks at the time, but I was kind of a hard pill to swallow.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go the t-shirt route, and I'm gonna figure out who I can find to help me make these t-shirts. And it didn't take me long. You know what I mean? I was gonna go to custom ink. Everybody back then was going to custom
Yep.
ink, but custom ink wasn't really that thorough. You know what I mean, for the process and
Yep.
everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep searching and searching. And I found a gentleman who was actually around the same age as me. I'm like, yo, he was like, you know what, you come with me for work with me. I mean, you can come see what's up with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we was just talking for like a week on Instagram DM, and it was pretty dope, man. And then, long story short, I ended up working for him at the time. And then the company name back then was like Most Wanted Printing.
Oh,
You know what
that's a
I'm
cool name too.
It's a dope name, man. And long story short, I was working for him for that short period of time, and I was learning the process and, you know, how to print shirts and coat screens and everything like that. And then I had this little envelope. He was like, man, if you want to do this, if you really want to do this, you want to really get this done, I got this envelope for you. You can put your bread in here. You can save this money real quick so you get your first shirts done.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what? I stuck to the script.
Did you?
Stuck to the script,
My man.
Well, it seems like that's something you seem very disciplined.
Yeah.
And where did that discipline come from? Is that family driven? Is that something you learned from your dad, your mom?
Honestly, man, like, I took that from my peers. You know what I mean? As you say, like, I learned from older people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and I always kept myself around older cats. You know what I mean? That helped me out a lot.
That's always a really good thing right there,
You know what I
because
mean?
learning from other people's experiences and their journey, especially when they're further ahead, the fact that you're taking the time to be a good student, that's like 90% of the battle. That's almost like staying out of your own way.
But I'll be honest, man. Like it took me, it took me a while to really understand. You know, to really like be locked in. Like you get distracted when you get outside. You know what I mean?
Talk to me about the distractions. What is the number one distraction
Crazy,
you've
bro.
encountered?
Like, for anybody out there, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to want to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you also get influenced and distracted outside because there's so much going on. You know what I mean? But once you really find yourself and who you are, knowing who you are, and know what you want to be, and know where you want to go, you know what I mean? As time go on, and as time go, you see like people come and go at the same time.
Let me ask you this question. Now that you're where you are in your life, what are some things that you no longer are distracted by? Because that would highlight, a few things
Right.
that you face. So I
Right.
want to know, what were some things that you said, you know what, enough is enough. This is no longer part of my journey.
Yeah, that's funny.
Talk to me, Jay.
And that in itself says that this had to be real
It
good.
had to be a great question.
Yeah,
If he
yeah.
still hasn't responded to it. Avery, what are some things you can assume that he's hiding from us right now?
Oh man, I don't want to put him out there. He said,
Because I know you. If I ask you the same question, you will. The first thing I think of is you pissing in the back of somebody's back seat
yeah,
out of
you already
revenge.
know. That's
So
it.
is it anything along those lines?
Nah, that's diabolical.
Then if that's diabolical, give me something.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, you know, me as a young man coming up and trying to experience life. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And dibble and dabble in a lot of things. So I'll tell you what, like, you can be in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Or you can really be in your own way.
Talk.
For
Give
real.
us an example of that.
All right, so you know when you go on your line, you got a straight road, you got a straight path you're
Yes.
going down. Then like, you know, God, you always gotta keep God first. Number one rule.
Amen to
You always
that.
gotta keep God first. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Keep
Big shout out
in-
to that.
Keep God in your moves, man. But that's the ultimate poise right there. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
keep God in your life. You gotta always. Let me get back though. So, thing is, you got a clean path. You got like a clean canvas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The canvas gets
Muddy.
it gets muddy. It gets put whatever on the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Like this shirt didn't have anything on it before it got printed. So it's like, I'll tell you what. The distractions was myself, women, and then friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But women it took me a while to
How-
really get past that.
How did you get to the place where, okay, that's no longer something that has power over me? How did you get here?
Man,
Women, friends. How did you
Like
disconnect
what
from
was
this?
what was the moment, the pivotal moment where like that it like clicked in your head and said, you know what, we can't do that anymore.
Because your answer is going to help someone else out.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's like once you know what you're facing, and like they say, small numbers add up. You know what I'm saying? Numbers can be a percentage on where you're trying to go, and it could be a percentage on the money you're making, and it could be a percentage on like the calculations of the whole situation of where you, which is just the whole situation. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So it's just like at that point, it's just like what's can you balance it, or you gotta subtract it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what's going to help you in the long run? What's going to benefit you? You know what I'm saying? And that being said, it's like I understood at that time. So even recently, you know what I'm saying? I understood like, all right, well, I know what's in front of me, and I'm not fucking it up no more. Like, you know, I've been in so many situations where I was like, you know, I know where I'm about to go with this, and then like I got distracted. Like I put myself in a predicament, and I had to swallow that pill.
But everything happens for a reason, Jay. You needed those distractions. You needed those adverse situations to help you to discover this person that's sitting here talking to the audience as well. Had you not have them, you would never have found the strength in the man that you're presenting to us right now.
See, to feed off of that too as well, everything that we go through and those distractions also help reveal truly where our hearts are. You know, and like, you know, to go back on the distractions and everything, it's so easy in this world specifically when attention is pretty much a currency, you know, and to get distracted without even really noticing. So it's like that's a huge testament to not only did you sit there and realize, man, we're going through this entire direction and I'm kind of sidetracking from where I want to be because of all these different distractions, but then you like sat back and you learned from that and you pivoted to get you back into alignment to where you want it to be. Like for me, there's one of my favorite Bible verses this. It says, "Walk through the narrow gates, for the gates to hell is wide, and the road that leads to it is easy, and there are many who follow it. For the gates to life is narrow, and the path is difficult, and there are very few who find it." And it sounds like you're one of the very few who've continued to find that path and continue to align yourself, because there's plenty of exits on and off that path. And the more that you keep going, the more distractions that you're going to get, and you just continue to align yourself. So props to you on that.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Hey, so
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead, eh?
As far as like you said with your business, like kind of like a mentor to you that put you on. You know,
Oh yeah,
envelope.
I shout out to him, man.
Big shout out to your mentor.
Shout out to
Yeah,
him,
right,
man.
so-
That's the GOAT right there.
So did you kind of like take what he showed you? Do you got like a business plan of your own?
Yeah,
Infrastructure that
I'm a-
your own that you put together?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm glad you asked me this question. We actually back in what month was that? Around February, April. No, March, April. We created the business plan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to have that business plan for future references. You know what I'm saying? Just to show my portfolio within what I got going on. And that helps a long way. That comes a long way, man, because when you see when a businessman or anybody that's when you're going where you're going, they look at that. It's like, okay, this man is serious. You know what I'm saying? And he got all his paperwork straight.
Right.
And, you know, you come in correct and you got a great portfolio behind what you're doing. It's just very important to always be prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
Is that art or preparation?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Nip, man.
You and I was talking. Let's talk a little bit about your mentor. How beneficial has he really been to you in your overall development, the growth of your brand? Talk to me a little bit about him. You called him the GOAT and everything. Give him a big shout out on, just how much he's helped you out in the journey.
Shout out Most, man. Like, honestly, I'm very honored to have him in my life.
Yo, big shout out to Most for that
You
comment.
know what I'm saying? It's,
When someone says, "I'm very honored to have someone in their life,"
Yeah.
you mean a lot to this man. Most, big shout out to you for everything. you've been doing.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
And it's like, it's very important, man, because Most, like, he was the one that showed me how to screen print clothes and everything and showed me different ways of how to go about it. But having him in my life, man, from transition to that point back in 2015 till today, it's just like, he always said to me, he was like, man, from everybody else, you different from everybody else. And I can see the way you're trying to go and how you're trying to brand yourself. And I see you like changing as a person. You know what I'm saying? But him being side by side with me and he has his own stuff going on, I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate his time because time is very valuable, man. You know what I mean?
Now, something I've noticed about you from the time I've met you, you are very focused, and you're not easily influenced. That's something about you that I've detected. Your mind is very strong.
That took some time. That
And
took
talk
some
to
time.
me. What
yo.
took time?
That took some time,
Give me an
yo.
example of the difference between then and now, too.
Then and now, it's like when you're young, you can get easy. Like you said, you're not easily influenced now. But when you're young, and you really trying to see what the world's about, you want to try to when you want to try stuff. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what works for you. You know what I'm saying? That's important.
Trial and error.
Trial and error.
Right.
Yo,
Shout out to that. T, where you at, T? You hiding in the darkness. Where T at? Why T not by a microphone right now?
I was just chilling, letting the interview flow, but I'm here, I'm here.
T, real quick. I was just talking to Jay about his focus and how disciplined he is. You've been working with this man for quite some time now. You also shot his amazing commercial that we're gonna make sure we're hearing and everything like that.
Yeah, y'all gonna see that.
Thing.
Yeah, that's doing numbers.
Hell yeah.
What are some things that you, when you look at Jay, that he might not notice about himself? T, what are some things that you say, yeah, Jay, you really got it due to these things that you're able to detect?
The biggest thing for me that I appreciate in Jay is his versatility.
Okay.
And especially because I'm a female in a male-driven industry, so I come across a lot of different men, and Jay carries himself as if he's already who he is. Like, he doesn't need a cosign. Like he said, he has his plan, so he's really just holding himself to a standard and focusing on that. And the outside factors doesn't really matter to him. Like, he's not being influenced by what's popular. He's really like, yo, I got this idea and I know if I can execute it, it's going to be fire, which I relate to so much because I have the same thing. Like, bro, I got an idea. I know if I execute it, y'all going to like it. I'm not really worried about trying to give you what you already like now. I'm going to show you something different and then tell you I knew you was going to like it. And that's what ended up happening with that commercial. That was his idea. I just brought it to life.
And I was going to bring that up too, because Jay does show range and creativity, just from the different things he spoke about. And one of the things we did talk about, you did say you have a passion for behind the camera work. And you got the audience can't get the nugget out of your mouth right now. And one of the things I wanted to know, I don't want to keep darting all over the conversation because I still have things I want to discover and discuss about with things. But since T's already on the microphone, you also mentioned that you have a passion for directing.
Yeah, man.
Where did that passion come from?
Honestly, like back then, I was in church. Well, my mom had me in church and everything.
Okay.
But
So
I
you
always-
definitely strayed because mom dudes get her best. He walking around with pellet guns and something. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, my brother gave me that shit. But I ain't talking about that no more. But so
You said honestly you was a knucklehead because mom had you in church. So how did you stray?
but about the camera work.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were talking about the camera work.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah.
About the camera work back in church, man. I knew I was good close with the family, the bishop's family, and all that and everything.
Yeah.
One of his sons' name is Justin. Shout out to him, man. I haven't talked to him in years, but shout out to him.
Okay.
But he's the one that taught me how to use the camera really well. I was real nice at the time. I always took pictures of the service and all that. Woo. And I always wanted to learn the camera work. I always had this creative idea of like what I wanted to do. But I also love clothes. I love different garments and everything. That's never gonna leave me. Like I do with cars. Cars is a different feeling. But I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
But one thing about the cameraman, I always have like a creative directions. That's why I separated myself from just photo shoots with my brand. I'm like, yo, I have to set this statement, I have to set the tone with like this visual. Like it's like a lifestyle brand to me.
So let me,
go ahead.
so let me ask this question, especially working with someone like T.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great to have someone that you can communicate with on a great level, but how does that work also when someone also wants to direct the project that you're also working on? Does that conflict with your creativity at all? Maybe some of your ideas don't get to make it because maybe that's what he wants to do something different. How does that work in balancing the relationship?
Appreciate you, bro.
I feel like for me, I'm always looking to get the best understanding of what the client wants, so that way I can know if I can even give that to them at first, and then let them know if maybe their idea is a little too far-fetched or maybe what their budget might be. Like, I want them to tell me what their vision is, so that way I can either scale it down or tell them we need to go bigger, or all right, we can do that. We're right at the sweet point. And when it comes to directing,
How does it feel to let go and have to step back?
I was gonna say
I don't really let go if because
I'm asking for a reason.
yeah,
because
I'm
it would
gonna
be
say
tough for me.
I don't really let go because if you were going to be the director, you wouldn't have hired me. So while I'm taking your vision and everything into light, because that's what I'm going to execute, now I get the respect of running my set because you hired me to do a job. So I don't like to be micromanaged in it. Like, you can give me suggestions or say, hey T, what if we try this shoot? Like, I'm all open for communication, but at the end of the day, I have found my way of running the set according to what I want to do, because most people who want to do it, they aren't doing it. So they just have the idea of what it looks like. But sets and doing shoots, that's a very time-consuming thing. So you just keep adding stuff in as we're going. No, I'm not doing that. I had this blocked off for 3 hours or 3 amount of scenes set, and this is what we're going to go for. If you want to do more, now we might need to talk a little bit more money, but generally, once I get the idea of what you want, I'm not really trying to give too much creative control out, because it just makes the process longer and more difficult on my end. Like, people can't sit with me while I'm editing and things
Oh,
like
no, that's
that.
a no-no.
Like,
So then I got a question then regarding that
No,
then,
no.
because
Dark
clearly
and quiet.
so clearly he kind
I
of
see you
speaks
later.
your language in that some aspect though. But do you find it easier to work with him though? And is he someone that, in the sense that when he's like, okay, this is what I'm thinking, he comes to you and you guys kind of brainstorm and he just lets you do you?
yeah, I'm
so
gonna
it's
say
very
Jay,
balanced.
He overly, I don't want to say overly respects my process, but I had to get used to his amount of belief, because he was approaching me, giving me like opportunities, like for now, like pretty much how we're working together now. He got me like on retainer as like a lawyer would, like like
That's why I'm asking, because it's such a beautiful process between us. And it's not something you see every day, especially the way he speaks and the way you speak. So the question you asked unlocked the true answer that I was aiming for, which is how you responded, which was, you're shocked at the amount of creative control he gives you.
in the fact that he wants to work with me and willing to, like, I know I've come across people who aren't afraid to spend money, but to do it consistently and then not question when I give like values and I tell you something, like that was kind of uncommon. Like that was like,
Well,
and
your
then you
work
want
speaks for itself, T. I've seen your work.
I
You're-
believe in myself, but you know what?
pretty damn
When
dope.
you in this game, especially when in my position, like not because I'm a female, but most people like they want to work with me because one, they try to use my business as an overlay for the underlay. Like, oh, I see you do this, but also like if I can get next to you, like so I have to have a certain I have to have a certain sternness about it. So when Jay was like approaching me like that, at first I was like guard up, but then I seen like his work and what he got going on, how serious he was willing to like when I said the price. Oh, I got that right here in my pocket. Oh.
But that's to me, that's a testament to the
Yeah.
kind of that right there. So to go full circle and bring it back, that's a testament to your focus and your dedication right there, because you're a man with a plan and you're driven and you're willing to do anything to be able to maintain in that path, which allows you to be able to see other people who are willing to be able to embark in that journey with you and also continue to grow together, not just for yourself, but together, cohete like one team, one unit. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Now,
man,
from your
it's like-
perspective, Jay, how does that work?
It's like, man, I be having solid plans and ideas, man, and I'm a businessman first at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like frontline it. You know what I mean? Like through and through. But you know, I like to be prepared. I try to be prepared for the most part, and I just want to, you know, how I deal with Ryan, how I deal with T, how I deal with young gentleman Alex. Shout out to him, Concrete, man, his clothing brand, and how I deal with some other people. I just like everything takes time.
And you
know what I
also
mean?
seem to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, I do, and that's most important. That took a while too. You know what I mean? And that took some time too.
Yeah,
you know
it does
what I mean?
take time.
So I
Really
got
does.
a two-part question.
What up, A?
First one, like you got a 5-year plan put together.
Yes, sir.
That's one. And number two, what audience you trying to get?
Audience?
Everybody, old, new.
That's a good question. That kind
Honestly, I'm not trying to. My goal is to reach like almost everybody.
Nah, yeah.
Because my brand is it's like a high-end streetwear luxury brand, you know, and
Universal.
I care about the children. I care about youth, exactly, and it's a unisex company, you know what I mean. And as of right now, I'm putting out there as merch, I'm putting out as clothing and all that. But one day I want to branch out and do other things, you know what I mean, with the brand under the umbrella of the company.
of good.
And you know, I love clothes, man. That's not going to steer away. I just see other things that you can do with a clothing company.
Absolutely.
You know
It's
what I'm
it's a
saying?
vehicle to get to the other aspects that you want to get to, and you also have a passion for the actual process of itself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's one thing I have to let people know. And furthermore, what you're saying, it's like when you're going through the process, you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of ups and downs and trial and error with it. So when you're going through something, you like, damn, I got to meet a deadline. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. Don't like overwhelm yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's really important about overwhelming yourself, and you got to like keep one foot in front of the other. And really buckle down and like stay consistent and stay dedicated. And then like when you got hard times, it's hard to stay motivated because you know you're like, damn, I got so much I gotta do. But whole time it's like you're gonna get to it when you get there.
Talk to me about some of those hard times. Talk to me about some of the hardest days that you've experienced so far.
Man, people ain't know I was sleeping in the car.
Talk to me about that.
That's
I mean, how
huge,
did
though.
you get there, especially with such strong family support?
Yeah.
Excuse me one second. Family support. I believe your dad's in the commercial.
Yeah,
Sis is the model.
I had some rough patches though. Like I had to clean myself up.
Okay.
No matter if they was there or not, you gotta till ground at the end of the day. You gotta till ground, and you gotta do. When you know you doing too much as an individual, you know you doing too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? You overstep
The
boundaries.
process revealed the truth in
Yeah,
it.
This
man.
can be a conversation of such epic proportions.
Oh, yeah.
Because this guy's like a combination. You got to keep unlocking this guy
Right,
right, here,
right.
bro.
Dude, it's like you
get
gotta,
more nuggets,
yup,
B.
yup.
know,
You kind of
the
peel
thing
back the
about it
layers.
is important and impressive that
When did you start talking all soft? Man,
because
pick up the bass.
Tilt the mic up a little bit. There you go.
Hey, there you
I'm
go.
saying this like
out
he
to
been
Rose.
here before. He got one of them old souls.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So
He does, too. He does.
it's kind of like drug dealer anthem. You know, I wish I knew then what I know now.
I wish I was born in the '80s, bro. Like,
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, well, you probably were. You just fucking reincarnated as who you are right now.
I agree.
Because the way your mindset is at your age, there's not a lot of people your age is on the same track as you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta look at it as like your focus. Other people.
Hey, you were going down a real like spiritual road.
But that's such a good path though, because like
my plate is clean.
To identify him, to identify the fact that he might have lived another lifetime. He does have that old soul where it's almost as if, you know, he's communicating with someone else in his same version of himself in another dimension or
Like
something.
it's like I go back. You know, somebody said that take $10 million in the red door, or go back 15 years for the blue door.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't taking none of them.
None of them.
yeah,
I ain't
my
taking none of
man,
them.
my man, look at that. He proud of where he's at right now.
But I'm just saying that's kind of like when they say option. Could you go back? Would you go back 15 years? With the knowledge you have now, and you go back?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's an amazing assessment. Go ahead, Jay.
And honestly, I like how you put that. And the knowledge I do have, people say I wish you can go back, but I appreciate the process of what I learned. You know what I'm saying? Because if I learned all this like when I probably would be further different. You know what I mean? I'd probably be different, but I appreciate God for putting me through this. All the things He put me through to really understand life and money, because money is very important. You know what I mean?
No. I think what you just said was beyond powerful. I appreciate God for everything He has put me through. Do you understand that statement is not something everyone will say? There's people
That's
in poor
tough.
conditions. There's homeless people. There's people who are in the hospitals. There's veterans who have no legs. I don't think they would say that. But for someone who's gone through so many things, slept in their car, been kicked out of school, expelled, and all the things you've experienced already, for you to say you appreciate it.
That's a
Talk
prime
to us more
example of
about
gratitude right
where
there.
does that come from?
Man, like God done so many things in my life, man, and I talk to Him a lot. I be listening to Him. I ain't really trying to tap into all that, but like I'll be listening to Him. You know what I'm
There's a
saying?
shame about that, brother.
You thinking you don't need to tap into that is you not realizing the people that you're around. We also
I'ma
too
tell-
listen to the universe. We also too believe strongly in the divine. So you go ahead and express yourself the way you choose to express yourself, and you're going to be accepted here. However they choose to accept you, that's on them.
Amen.
Talk to me, T. You came up ready to add your two. Come on.
Yeah, because once he said he want to tap into we gotta tap into that. We cannot not talk about the Lord and His glory and what He is doing
Amen
for
to
us.
that.
Not only that, but the
Wait.
journey is to be explained. You're supposed to talk about
We
your
gotta
journey.
bring
to
the
be
people
fair-
to the masses.
To be fair, though, it's not something that you often find people enough to be able to have these types of conversation.
I agree.
You know, so it's like that was something that I had to get used to myself.
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm not ashamed of God. I love God.
We
No,
know.
we didn't take it
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way. We
yeah.
didn't take it that way.
Oh, all right.
We took it as if you just trying to keep all that spiritual wisdom to
wanna
yourself. You better
Let it out.
All right.
Tell the
I
people.
want to know, and they need to know.
They do need to know about God.
But yeah, talk about your love as far as what He did for you, and just the strength that you have in your body, the energy that you're putting off to the world right now. Because again, you're speaking things into existence.
That's important.
But what's important too, something else you said, you appreciate.
Yeah, I do appreciate
I think that's the most important thing, is to appreciate just the everyday and the every minute of every day. And you speak from that place, man. I really respect it.
I appreciate
T,
that.
you got anything else you want to say?
I'm gonna let you go in on
Okay,
that.
go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
I appreciate that. So, man, one thing I can't say about God,
Talk to us.
it's just like He gave me a lot of faith, and and once I believed in Him, once I gave it all to Him, when I realized, I'm gonna say this, when I realized Ryan gave me the keys, that's when I knew God ordained everything. You know what I mean? He gave me the connects, and I'm like, damn, I'm ready. He was like, you ready? I was like, yeah, all right.
Everything happens for a reason, because look, it proved to be so true. Look at where you are today.
God is the plug.
God is the plug, man.
God is.
That
What
is
did
the
I say to you
plug.
today, B? I
Yeah,
said,
we were literally
Yo.
talking about this.
if you want to make God laugh, tell Him your plans. But you
Yo.
just have to trust the divine sometimes, the universe, and just put two and two together like you did. I respect that.
Yeah, because that's a double entendre, that saying. Because you tell him your plans, because you might be in alignment with he got you going on, but then
You're right.
he might be laughing at that ain't how it's going to happen.
No.
Or it might be, oh, you think you on that level. I'm about to give you
I'm gonna humble you real quick.
You
Yep.
don't even know yet.
Thank you for that, too. Thank you for that.
And one thing is, though,
Yeah.
I never glorify the material, or I never glorify what we don't need to glorify.
No,
Like,
it's not important.
I give God all the credit.
I think what you're about is spiritual enlightenment, and you're still seeking that. And to me, when you denounce material objects, when you denounce anything that's mundane, that's the true mark of someone who's truly embarked on a journey in life. And the thing is, Jay, never feel ashamed to speak that don't ever feel ashamed to speak about your spiritual wisdom, your love for the Lord, because that's what brings all these things back to you. Is your openness about it. So you're hearing it from other people in the room. It's not just yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're
for
all
sure, bro.
spiritually enlightened to some level,
Bro,
and we
you've
all
been
grateful for it.
reincarnated. I gotta go check all the Soul Train episodes. See if you on.
I'll tell you what, man.
Talk to me, Jay.
Man, I like Larry June, man. That's my guy. One day, we're going to be side by side working together, man.
Ooh.
Now, who's this?
Larry June from San Francisco Bay.
You got to fill us in. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not
The
so
song that was
knowledgeable
on the
about
commercial is a Larry June song.
the song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Love of Money.
Oh, okay.
That's my shit,
So go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on that.
man.
And why you guys going to be working together?
Right. Like why that?
He don't know it yet, though.
But again, you're speaking it into
Right.
existence. I mean,
Watch,
you're
he's gonna come
powerful man.
across this. He's like, I'm gonna work with that guy
You know
right
what I'm
there.
saying? He don't know it yet. But I feel like me and him got like a similar background. Like his pops was like driving old schools and, you know, had cars back in the day. When he talk about that in his songs, I'm like, yo, I can relate to this man. Like,
Yeah.
And then he on his healthy path. I was on my healthy path before I even knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say this though. He always speak about how to get money. You know, he speak about the different things. You know what I mean?
Is money everything to you?
No.
What does money-
This is what I'm about to tell you. This is what I'm about to
Go
tell
ahead.
you. This is what I'm gonna tell you. He speak about investing. He speak about like being on some trap shit, on some player shit. But at the end of the day, well, no matter what he talk about, I learned something from it. You know what I mean?
My question to you, and this is just to you.
Yeah.
What does money mean to you?
That is, money doesn't mean anything to me. As long as you have it, you can do whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? You can invest it. You can do whatever you need to do with money.
I asked the
honestly.
question because you know how money can corrupt people.
Money can corrupt. Yeah.
Avery, money corrupts.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the love of money is the root of
But-
evil.
For sure.
Well, money is the root of evil, but money doesn't drive me. You know what I mean? What I can say about money. It doesn't
That's why I
drive.
asked to you. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't drive me, but one thing that does drive me is me working hard. That's the most important thing because like without the funds,
That I can attest to.
you feel me?
That I can
Working
attest
hard
to. He
because-
goes hard in the paint.
Oh, absolutely.
Without the funds, man, you're gonna find yourself not doing too much of anything. You're gonna see people what they doing, and you're gonna be mad at yourself. But that's on you. You know what I'm saying? And I remember back then, like I would talk it, but I wasn't walking in what I was talking.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn from that. Like I had to really learn from
There's
that.
nothing more impressive about a man than when he knows to hold the mirror up in front
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
humbling right there,
of you. You
man.
know what I'm saying? Instead of someone being able to call you out or tell you something that you're doing wrong,
Yep.
you're able to recognize
Yep.
it. Jay, talk
You know
to
what
me
I'm
more
saying?
about that, man.
Cause it's like yesterday, I can actually speak on this, man. Cause I was
Talk about it.
yesterday, man. I was flipping through my old Facebook from my new one, and I'm like, yo, I was really saying this shit. Like, I was really like talking, and I was like, man, like, I was doing a lot of talking. Like, you know what I mean? What matters the most is when you can be behind the scenes and nobody know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So then when you bring it all together, when you put it all out there, they're gonna like it happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? And then like you just putting so much time in and effort in what you got going on, and that's what's most important.
Jay, I've asked this question to a number of different guests. It just dawned on me that maybe you can answer this question
What's that?
in the way that I think I can hear the answer. That you know yourself very well. Yes or no?
I had to learn that though.
You're still learning too, because the journey never ends.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about what type of male you are? This is an important part of the journey because you just said something that's really crazy. So I'm gonna give you 3 examples. You have your beta males, you have your alpha males, and then you have your sigma males.
Sigma, man.
But there's also what
I feel like
4 other ones
Yeah.
on that.
We ain't gonna talk about those.
No, we don't need to acknowledge them at all. So my thing is, which one are you?
I feel like I'm in the middle.
So which one is that?
Yeah.
Are you the lone wolf?
Yeah.
So that's the sigma man.
That's your Sigma.
Because
Yep.
what he said was, I'd rather work in the shadow. Only a Sigma male wants to
Absolutely.
work in the shadows.
You work in
personally-
silence.
I do not want to sit here right now. I don't like the attention. I don't like to be, but I know I do the job that I have to do. But I'd rather be in the shadows. Bro. I'd rather be behind the scenes. Is that something that you relate to the most?
Yeah, I feel like I always did that best because, you know, that was always better for me. I didn't like to tell people what I got going on because that'll just kill it. That'll kill it before it happened. So I'll talk to God about it.
Real rap.
And then I had this gentleman, I'm not gonna put him out there because he said don't do it just yet, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put his name out there, but he's been there for the long haul. He's been there and he's seen a lot of stuff that I did wrong, and he's seen what I'm doing now, and it was a long journey. He's been there rocking with me for a very long time. I can't put his name out there though.
I got you.
That's
But-
fine.
But I tell you what, may the marathon continue.
Yeah, I'm focused, I've been on my shit. I hit the block and I'm bending that shit. Got my